Mamile, belle, la moustache et la capucha. Sito patamilo, milata, katiki, bunetica. Sito patamilo, milata, katiki, bunetica. Sito patamilo, milata, katiki, bunetica. Sito patamilo, milata, katiki, takatiki. Sito patamilo, milata, katiki, bunetica. Sito patamilo, milata, katiki, bunetica. Sito patamilo, milata, katiki, bunetica. Mamile, belle, la moustache et la capucha.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And I know I'm coming a little late, but I'm following a lead on a story about the debt that Dan has collected on the Washington franchise. So hopefully I keep following that story and I have more on it. I thought it was kind of weird when he said that the franchise was fined $10 million, but he wasn't fined $10 million. So I'm still following that story, but I'm going to bring it up to y'all. But to focus on new stuff, the next thing out the way, I want to thank my man Tone from Protect Sports for having me on his show. I had a really good time and I greatly appreciate it. And as I get acclimated to more people within this realm, I'm going to be, doing my best to acknowledge them, reach out to them, talk to them, and things like that. So other than that, let's talk about what's the big thing at hand. We have a huge game on Monday, a very huge game on Monday. That game entails the Philadelphia Eagles. And I will say this, Philadelphia in the last game that they played showed that they're starting to get to a point at where they forgot what losing is about or what losing could be about, because there were a lot of times where players were kind of relaxed on routes and they were acting like, they weren't like, almost like the Texans were a big pushover, and they almost got beat due to that. And I'm starting to see the holes within Philadelphia. Now, I will say this. I don't think Scott Turner is smart enough to do it. But, normally I bring my keys to the game. But I think that the keys to the game is following Pep Hamilton's play calling. Pep did a fantastic job against the Eagles. He took advantage of certain things that in reality, with the wide receivers we got, and the running backs we got, I think we can actually beat Philadelphia and give them their first loss in the losers column this year. There were a lot of things that they were making mistakes on. Like I said, you can see that the players are starting to get very arrogant about this winning streak and about how good they are. And in return, they're getting very relaxed about things. They're not taking it as serious as they should. And again, the Texans game showed a lot of that. And don't get me wrong, I do feel that Philadelphia is legit. But every team has those moments where they face a team and they think they're just going to beat them and they end up coming close to losing. I do feel that Washington has a chance to pull off the win and actually surprise Philadelphia surprise Philadelphia with their first loss of the season. But again, we'll have to see. There are some things that need to happen. One, we need St-Juste to follow A.J. Brown throughout the whole game. I know Kendall Fuller isn't fast enough for Devontae Smith, but the one thing that we've noticed is that when it comes to third downs, they rarely go to Devontae Smith. They normally go to A.J. Brown. And I do feel that St-Juste can, because they're both physical guys, I think that St-Juste and A.J. Brown could get into a very physical matchup. And that can probably take A.J. Brown a little out of the game or get him off his game. I think our big concern will be Dallas Goedert through the middle of the field. Again, I do feel that because Jamin Davis is in fact playing a whole lot better, I do feel that you can spy Jalen Hurts with Jamin Davis and let Cam Curl or Derek Forrest take on Dallas Goedert should he show up in the middle and stuff like that. I think Washington will be a better defensive team. I also feel that Washington will be a better offensive team in this game because they actually have the weapons to take advantage of some of Philadelphia's miscues in the secondary, because that's what happened in the Texans game. They had a lot of miscues in the secondary, and I do feel that Washington can in fact take advantage of that. And if so, these are one of the things that I honestly do feel can happen. I hope that Washington, I hope that Scott Turner has actually learned something, because I honestly do feel that Scott doesn't look at film. I do feel that he maps out everything he's going to do in the game. You know what they say, you know, most offensive coordinators got 15 plays scripted out. I think Scott Turner actually has the whole thing scripted out. I don't think that I don't think that at any point that he thinks that he's going to go all script, or that he does go all script. I think he has the entire game mapped out. And for me, that is one of the things that I'm concerned about. I hope that Scott can actually see what Pep did and utilize exactly what Pep did to actually pull off a win against Philadelphia. The angle routes. I would love to see more angle routes from Antonio Gibson. I mean, I think that if you utilize the angle routes a little bit more, especially in this Philly game, you can take advantage of their linebackers. Kazir White is fantastic. Edmonds is fantastic. But, I mean, Edwards is fantastic. But, again, you can take advantage of these guys. And I do feel that if they do use angle routes, they have an opportunity to take advantage of them. Now, I will say this, because I have to go back a little bit, because I do want to say this about the whole Taylor Heinicke discussion, because there were a few things where I saw people putting up film of routes that Taylor missed and things like that. One particular one particular play that I feel I have to speak on is the play where Taylor, where everybody's talking about the fact that Taylor had missed a wide open Terry McLaurin when he made the break and he ran open into the end zone. I would like for people to re-look at that play, because that particular play is a very tough play to deal with. Not only that, the reason Taylor misses Terry is because he's looking the other way as Terry comes out of his break. Now, let me explain that play a little bit more. What happened was that Antonio Gibson came up and he was looking to find blocks. So he was going from, I think he was going from left to right to look for the blocks or whatever. What I had noticed is that when Antonio Gibson comes back, he comes across Taylor's line of vision to make a block on the person that was rushing at the very end. What happened was that when Antonio Gibson came across Taylor's line of vision, that disrupted the play. So understand that when Taylor was looking down the field, he was waiting for Terry to break. He was waiting for Terry to break on the play so he could throw it to him in that wide open zone. But what happened is that when Antonio Gibson comes across his face and makes the block, that disrupts the play, which makes Taylor then turn his head, miss the pass. Because if he had thrown it too early, then the safety that was actually coming, that was watching his eyes, would have set up there and would have made it to the contact point before Terry would have got there, or would have got there at the same time and would have really hurt Terry. But again, if y'all relook at that play, Antonio Gibson coming across Taylor's vision to make the block disrupted the play, disrupted Taylor's vision down the field, and also disrupted where Taylor was looking at. So again, look back at that part in the film. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I'm gonna talk about this in regards to Taylor. And I know a lot of people are not gonna like what I'm getting ready to say, but I have to say it. Taylor gives us the best chance to win. Period. I know that a lot of y'all are giving him flack for this last game, and then y'all want to talk about what he did last year and what he did in the previous games and things like that. But also understand that there's been a lot of good in Taylor, but he's basically the only one who basically can get this offense down or can actually understand it enough to not make mistakes, to not hold on to the ball as often. Now, I will say in the last game, because I had to rewatch the film because I was there live, so there was a lot of things that I missed. But after rewatching it, Taylor was very fidgety in the game because there were, like, starting off early in the game, you're talking about Cornelius Lucas missed a massive block that got Taylor hemmed up. Then you're talking about another play where Trey Turner let somebody come up the field and get in on Taylor as well. So Taylor was playing very fidgety in the pocket. And again, it doesn't help when Scott Turner has these plays that take so long to develop. Like for me, the play that I just recently talked about, the Terry McLaurin play, if Terry makes that cut faster, Taylor has the ball on him already. But because he had to wait for Terry to break into the pattern, again, he had to wait. Antonio Gibson comes across his face. He misses it. He's looking the other way. He doesn't even see that Terry is open. So, again, Taylor is actually the best person for this offense. Carson Wentz is going to look exactly how he looked in this offense. And for some of y'all who want to see Sam Howell, look, I can say it till I'm blue in the face. He's just not ready yet. He's just not ready yet. There's a lot of things that y'all didn't pay attention to in the preseason that would make him a disaster right now. Not only that, some of y'all have to understand something. If Washington drafts a quarterback, we currently don't have a coaching staff on hand that's going to make that quarterback better. If you pay attention to the history of this staff, they don't produce quarterbacks. They just don't. I mean, if you pay attention, some of their more successful quarterbacks has been guys that basically have to live off a lot of their own pure talent. Cam Newton, Taylor Heinicke. You know, guys that can make something happen off script. Whereas if you pay attention to all the other guys that they've brought through and they've had, none of those guys have been successful. None of them. Not one. So you got to understand that when it comes down to it, Taylor does give us the best chance to win. And that's just it. And I understand that a lot of y'all are not going to like this, but Carson Wentz doesn't give us the best chance to win. Yes, does he have a big arm? Yes, he does. But guess what? He still doesn't give us the best chance to win. Understand, we lose that Indianapolis game because Carson Wentz doesn't make that last minute throw that Taylor Heinicke does. You know, there are a lot of things that happen. We wouldn't have been up 17-7 if Carson Wentz was in the game. We know this. So understand this, for all of y'all who are down on Taylor, just always remember he is the better of the three quarterbacks. And that's just because of the system that they're in. These coaches do not produce quarterbacks. And everybody has to get to a point where they accept that and understand that. And that's just basically it. We can win this Philadelphia game. We can win this Philadelphia game. We won't win it if Carson Wentz is in the game. We won't win it with Sam Howell in the game. So in reality, Taylor is the one that actually gives us the best opportunity to win. If we're going to win this game, or if we're going to keep this game close, I 100% would rather go with Taylor than anybody else. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Do you feel that Washington can pull off the win? Are you done with Taylor Heinicke, or do you feel that just like I feel, Taylor just flats out give us the best chance to win? Y'all let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fans Sports Show.